I spoke earlier to the man in charge of the port of Calais. He told me they are ready. Jean-Marc Poussisseau is his name. I'm sure you're aware of him. And he said it's dependent on the hauliers, actually. He says, as long as you have your ducks in a row, everything in order, there should be no delays. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, it's a simplified assessment. It's broadly true. But the problem is, for many years, and we do mean years now, the government has told us very basically what to do, but not how to do it. And that's still the situation now. Most businesses, and I mean both hauliers and traders, are not ready. They're not confident, and they don't have trust in three key areas: the IT systems, the border infrastructure, which you've been reporting from today, and the number of staff available to process this mountain of red tape that we will suddenly have to do. And I'm talking about rules of origin checks, customs declarations, product safety certificates, food inspections, the Kent access permit, etc., etc.
Yes, there's a lot there. So that's the what, if you like, of the what and how juxtaposition you just put to me. In terms of the how, though, then will this be all about the IT? Is this all going to be done online, or will it actually be physical paperwork in some cases?
Bit of both. But
Right.
one of the big problems here is the government issued a press release, as you know, this morning, or talking about things like cutting edge software, state of the art technology, and expert officials, a team of expert officials. And when the government starts using those sort of superlatives, it's a time for us all to be very cautious. The truth is they've had 4 years to prepare for Brexit, and they've left it to the last month. Now, by anyone's standards, that is not a triumph of planning. And dressing it up in a fancy press release with a month to go doesn't impress anyone, least of all the traders who have to navigate through this process, and the people of Britain who will be left facing the consequences, which could be anywhere from shambolic to catastrophic.
So what do we know at the moment? So say there's a lot of lorry drivers that listen to this show. What should they be doing, or who should they be following to make sure they have the most up-to-date advice? Apart from us, of course.
Well, I mean, hopefully their management, their bosses will be telling them. But remember, you know, about 85% of the lorry drivers who do the cross-channel run are not Brits. They're drivers from overseas, and their first language is not English. And the crucial haulier handbook, which the government has produced to make all this make sense, has not yet been translated into languages other than English and distributed to those drivers.
Right.
So they basically haven't told them. It's shocking.
Do you feel then that we are destined to see that worst case scenario that we've been talking about for a while, that Kent will be some kind of lorry park and there will be queues?
Well, it's obviously difficult to I don't have a crystal ball, but what we should
No.
bear in mind is that the first couple of weeks of January, there isn't a heck of a lot of overseas trade with the continent, so maybe it won't be too bad beginning of January. But it will certainly get worse as January continues. Obviously, there's a bit of stockpiling going on at the moment. People are trying to mitigate the situation, but it's very bad. And the best case scenario is somewhere, as I say, between a kind of very bad shambolic thing where lorries get stuck somewhere. It might be in a lorry park, or it might be at the depot, and that's really disruptive, to something that is even worse, which would be catastrophic, which is a destruction of our supply chains for a period of time.
Well, listen, we started this conversation by saying the clock is ticking, and hopefully you'll talk to us again in the not too distant future when we sort of discover more as time goes on. But Rod, for now, thank you so much for your time this morning. That's Rod McKenzie then from the Road Haulage Association.